Now back to Keeping It Real with the Reverend Al Sharpton. Only on NewsTalk 1090 AM WYLD Boston, where information is power. Keeping It
Real. 9 other things black people need to stop doing. You that are watching on live stream, I want y'all to see how she spells this and what they see. You ought to watch live stream. You never know when I'm going to pull a trick. Let's go to Melissa in Montgomery, Alabama. Melissa.
Good afternoon, Reverend Sharpton.
Good afternoon.
I wanted to comment on what the young lady said about BET, if that's okay.
Yes.
I agree that BET has been a severe disappointment to us. In the beginning, they had the Bev Smith show. They had Ed Gordon. They had a lot of good news shows, but not enough, not nearly enough. And the primary thing was the booty shaking. And the girls, the cameras are right on their behinds. And I turned to the Spanish channel, to the Hispanic channel. I turned to the Arabic channel, the Indians, the Asians. Everybody else had some substantive news programs on their stations except BET. And it was such a disappointment. I was so angry and I was so frustrated because here was an opportunity of a lifetime where we owned a show, owned a TV station. And then when he sold it, who did he sell it to? Did he put the word out to Magic Johnson and some of those other folks who had the money to buy? Could have pooled that money.
Well, you have TV One now. I mean, I'm under people, get mad at me because I support TV One. I even used to do a show and started to do a show again with TV One. I think they have different programs. Mm-hmm. But again, a lot of it is you've got to be more conscious in the marketplace about supporting these concrete kind of shows and these substance kind of shows. I think Melissa's right, but I think a lot of us need to support the shows, the talks, Roland Martin's show, and other shows that do come on. I think BT did just start having Ed Gordon back on. In fact, I know they did. I'm on this Sunday.
Once a week, I think, isn't it?
Right.
But, I thought
just
in the beginning,
Sundays, yeah.
I didn't know it was TV One in the beginning. I thought it was Bob Johnson with...
No, TV One is now. The Bob Johnson is BT. Kathy Hughes and Alfred Liggins is TV One.
Right. So I'm talking about BET and Bob Johnson.
Right.
And that opportunity that was missed and blown and thrown away from our community to Viacom or whoever bought it. And I was so angry because I thought Magic Johnson, Oprah Winfrey, somebody would have had the money to pool their resources and keep it in the black community so that we would have quality programming, health issues, dealing with social issues, dealing with all the problems that our community had. Every other station, I watch the Spanish TV station. I don't even speak Spanish, but I watch and I see that they're getting quality programming most of the time. And that's what I thought would have been a golden opportunity for Bob Johnson to do for our community.
Yeah, but there's one difference, though, when you go to Spanish, when you look at Spanish television versus black television. Spanish television, you've got all of South America that is producing television that for the Spanish language community, plus you've got Spain creating it. So you've got a lot more content than you have for the black community, especially because the black community, even if you're going to Africa, doesn't all speak English.
In my book, I actually don't separate. I said stop dividing. The vast majority of Hispanics are black. Sorry, Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. You can call up if you want to, but
1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797.
But what Melissa's hitting on is again, it goes back to this fair weather friend thing and what this instant gratification. We don't put the time in to help develop these kind of programs that will,
support them once they're there.
But we will support them if we allowed them to play themselves out. You snatch it off the air because the ratings aren't good.
Right.
Instead of developing and marketing and doing the things that you would do for a program and support it so that we can get it.
And some of it isn't that good. That's also some of the problems.
Because some of it isn't that good because they don't invest money in making it good.
I was going to say,
you got to
low budget.
That's right.
The black guy married to the white woman and all the neck shaking and all that, out of wedlock. I mean, just drama and mayhem. And this is what they bring back on the air. Mm-hmm. Give me a break.
Janice in Cincinnati. Janice.
Wow. Hi. How are you? I'm a first-time caller.
I ring the bell for first-time callers.
And first of all, Reverend Sharpton, I'd like to say to you, thank you, and all these dudes out here that think they're so bad, if they had to walk in your shoes, being in places where there were no laws, that you guys years ago had to help make the laws, you would have seen what a bad guy was. So it's easy now to walk around and act bad because of the laws that you guys put into place for them to feel bad, like they're bad dudes. But I just want to thank you and all those that worked along with you, and hello to your guests.
Hey, Janice.
I would like to say about the civil rights.
Hold on a minute, Janice. I hear the music. I'm going to take a break. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton, right after this.
1090 WILDAF. WILD. Where information is power. Keeping it real.
Keeping it real. Keeping it real. I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. Karen Hunter with us, our co-host for BlackNews RoundTable, Dr. Elinor Tatum, publisher of the New York Amsterdam News, and Karen and Dr. Tatum told me they will be in for their segments next Thursday. So just like they were here the day before Christmas Eve, I would say the eve of Christmas Eve, they'll be here the eve of New Year's Eve. Now, I don't know whether here to be New Year's Day, but they'll be in the studio the eve of Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Well, y'all here the eve of Christmas Eve. Let's go back to Cincinnati to Janice. Janice, you keep it real with Al Sharpton.
Thank you. We were talking about the civil rights and gay rights movement. In a sense, the gay rights movement is a civil rights movement, but it's only for a certain segment, a certain group. The difference with the civil rights movement, it was for everyone. It was the poor, the disenfranchised, the black, other minority groups. It was not just for a select group of people. Now, they have taken the model that the civil rights movement used, but that does not just automatically make them a civil rights movement. And with that movement, every society has to have behavioral norms. And my thinking is, how far is this going to go with other behaviors out here that consider themselves to have certain civil rights as well? How far are we going to go? And that's what happens in any society when you start to deviate from norms, and everybody starts to feel that they have these particular rights, that others may not have. Now, we have laws in place. We have hate crime laws. We have, they could even have living wills. They could change legal legislation so that they could, inherit or whatever. I think we've sort of let the ball go a little bit too far as I'm concerned, because my next question is, what other group is going to rear its head up and start saying that because I do certain things a certain way, I should be given certain rights and privileges? So that's my fear with all this, and it shouldn't matter how many heterosexuals are married or not, whether or not we allow anyone to do whatever. That shouldn't even be a statement put into certain discussions. So I just wonder how far this is going to go in our society with these deviations from the norm. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Janice. And I get a little uncomfortable when people say norm, because I don't know what normal is. I guess it's like for a long time it wasn't normal to be black, right? That was a horrible thing, and I see the argument, but I just can't embrace it, Rev. I just can't embrace that the gay movement is exactly like the civil rights movement. And when people say that, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. And maybe it's because I'm black. I'm super sensitive to the rights that blacks had to fight for, not just in the South, but in the North, and still to this day, because it's something you can't run away from. There's discrimination going on. We see lawsuits all the time against restaurants or whatever because they don't want to serve us. Still to this day, because of the color of someone's skin, I can't equate them 100%. I just can't, Elinor, and I know that you feel differently about it, but I just.
You know, I believe that there are definitely issues and similar issues that the gay population faces that people that are black face, like being served at a restaurant. There are certain places where a gay couple cannot go into a restaurant and get served because they will be harassed and sent out.
How would you know, really, you know, unless you're being demonstratively, and I'm not for public displays of affection for homosexuals or heterosexuals. I don't want to see a woman and a man kissing on the street and grabbing each other. Whatever. I don't want to see it. So if you're walking in a restaurant, you two guys or two women, how would I know that you're gay unless you're doing something demonstrative?
And it could be just holding hands.
Okay, I guess that's fair.
Let's go to Gordon in Seattle. Gordon.
I guess that's fair.
Hey, Reverend Sharpton, yes. I was just listening about the programming on BET and so on like that. You mentioned Ed Gordon, you know, and much respect to, I know you're going to be on there, Reverend Sharpton, of course, I'm going to watch. But, you know, they put Ed Gordon's show on, for instance, where on BET, where the least amount of people are watching BET on Sunday morning. What comes on early Sunday morning here in Seattle, like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. And the lady mentioned the game. I mean, yeah, I watched the game too, but I mean, it's disappointing. Reverend Sharpton, I mean, you had your former co-host there with you, Jackie Lee. I mean, that's when I stopped watching BET. When they took off the BET nightly news, I stopped watching BET. You know, but I give a shout out to the Monique show. I watch it. He had positive people on there, and real quick stories. He had a Waka Flocka Flame on there, this rapper, and he was rambling on and so on like that. And Monique said, you know, Monique, I'm glad to have you walking on the show, but first of all, you got to take those dark glasses on. I want to see your eyes. And there's another thing, brother. What you just said, I don't understand a word you just said.
I love that.
So anyway, I give a shout out to her, but as a whole, I'm just really, really disappointed in the BET programming.
All right, thank you for your call. Let's go to December in Cincinnati. December. Hello.
Yeah, hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right, I came in a little late on the show, but I heard y'all talking about the shows on BET, but I think that show, The Game, is one of the best TV programs out today. I mean... and
better than the Atlanta Housewives? Really?
Oh, you know, I ain't never watched Atlanta Housewives, but the reason I like The Game, because it kind of reminds me of me. You know, I'm married to a Caucasian woman, but I think I like a lot of shows that they show mixed couples. I really do. You know what I'm saying? I like to watch that because it shows that you don't necessarily have to grow up and date your race. To me, them days over with. You can date and love whoever you want to these days. And that's what I like. I think that's what it's coming down to. People ain't just got to stick with their race. They can date whoever they choose to, and, you know, and be proud of it.
Yeah, but did you date and marry your wife just because she was white?
No, basically it just happened like that. You know what I'm saying? But I will admit that, you know, I lost interest in black women a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
You lost interest in black women. Why?
It didn't never work out for me, Al. It just never did. It never worked out.
Why didn't it work out? I mean, what didn't work out? What do you mean?
I mean, just nothing worked out. I mean, too much arguing, domestic, just didn't work out.
And Becky's a lot easier to deal with.
No, it works for me. It works for me. And I'm only speaking for me now. It only works for me. But what I'm sitting up here saying is that program deal with a lot of issues, too. And that's a nice program. You know, I slept on that program. I didn't know nothing about it, and I was over somebody's house, and they was watching it. And then I immediately, you know, connected with it because it is a black man and a white woman couple, you know.
All right, well,
but if you...
December, I'm not going to argue whether it was a good program. The point I'm making is that you have an opportunity with a network to do a lot. And if you have that program, some heavy news programs, some one-on-one interview programs, a whole bunch of other things to choose from, that's great. But if all you're doing are these silly music video type things, interview shows, and all of this shucking and jiving, sitcom stuff, that to me undermines the images that we need to project in this culture. That's all. The game's cool, but come on.
Well, I have to go. It's been an interesting Thursday. Thank both of you. Karen Hunter, who will be with us the first hour every Thursday, and then, of course, Dr. Elinor Tatum, who co-hosts our BlackNews RoundTable every Thursday. Thank both of you. Thank my executive producer today, Nitha Khan, technical producer Lee Majors, phone screener April Preston. Most of all, let me thank you for calling in, listening in. You that call in and couldn't get through. You hang in there anyhow. Remember, whatever you do, wherever you go, however you feel, tell somebody. Reverend Al told you personally. Keep it real. Keep it real. Talk to you tomorrow.
1090 WILDAF. WILD. Where information is power. 1090 AM.
1090 AM.
WILD. Radio 1 celebrating 30 years of service to the African American communities.
Also here in the city of Boston.
NewsTalk 1090 WILD. The Tom Joyner Morning Show.
Weekday mornings.
The Warren Valentine Show.
Weekday mornings at 10.
And keeping it real. Keeping it real. It's the Reverend Al Sharpton.
Weekday afternoons at 1.
It all happens on NewsTalk 1090 AM. WILD. Where information is power.